Uh, what's up, y'all? Sorry for the late start and the bad light. I'm actually, um, well, we're gonna get to what y'all came for. I'm gonna get a shirt on too. I'm gonna get a hot one right off the press one. I want to thank y'all for coming to the New Religion Network. I want to apologize for holding y'all up for 5 minutes. Um, it's quite 5 minutes, but we're gonna be tackling some very important information, so it'll be well worth the wait. We appreciate everybody that's what I'm saying, that's been rocking with us. You know what it is. We constantly growing. It's the New Religion Network. Today we're gonna be talking about that critical race theory. We're gonna be breaking down the critical race theory. Um, One thing I've been noticing as I've been researching critical race theory and even researching the people that take their stances on critical race theory, I've noticed one thing that has been the same through everything, and it's one thing. They don't have one classification. They barely understand it, right? It's it's a theory, right? So theory is thought, right? So it's basically a thought. You know what I mean? That I think I think this sometimes the issue is when we dealing with a person's thought. Sometimes you can separate that from the person, right? Because um this particular theory, right, this critical race theory particularly stems from a theory, stems from critical theory, right, which stems from um I guess I guess it's like, I guess what we could say is this dude, it was a guy, Karl Marx, I believe his name was, right, Karl Marx. So they call this a Marxist uh I guess theory, right? Now this has transformed. Basically, what the theory is, let's just put it on the table fast. What the theory is basically, and it's obvious. It's it's I see you in there. I see you in there, Kazo. That's what's up, man. Appreciate it. You know what it is. You know what we doing. But basically, the theory is this, man. Society and the way things are set up is not is a direct effect of basically, like, um we can say now racially motivated, right, white or black, but you can say from you can say from the haves and the have nots, you know what I'm saying? So just that's just saying that somebody set back, right? This guy set back, right? uh, um in the 1920s, right? This guy Karl Marx set back and said, wow, this society is not uh even, like, everything is not feel like this is class, depending on what class you come from. You know what I mean? That's a color or class or religion, depending on what background you come from. That's going to dictate how you uh what type of education you get, how what's going to happen to you if you get in trouble with law enforcement, where you're going to live, like, you know what I'm saying, how you're going to, like, that's already premeditated from those in, in the higher ups of the, of the place in that time. Now that translates to now, of course, in America, stating that, you know what I mean, if you're black, you're gonna have a harder time. You're gonna get pulled over and racially profiled by police. Your education is gonna be, you're gonna, in your neighborhoods and in your environments, the level of education that you get is not gonna be good. You know what I mean? So that right, it initially was the Karl Marx theory, right? It was the Marxist theory, right? Which which uh it was, which the this was in Germany. This guy Karl Marx was in Germany. So also at the Frankfurt School in Germany was being, it was like the real prestigious college, right? So this was being founded around the same time. So these actual ideas of the Karl Marx dude was kind of incorporated into the curriculum and backbone of the school, right? So this transition into studies, you know what I mean, critical theory, which transitioned from the Marxist theory, right, to critical theory, and this, you know what I mean? So, and then critical race theory in the 70s, and it was in the, I think started in the 60s, but through the 70s and like 80s, had been categorized and of course adopted by other people that sat back and said, this country is in the success of this country is not going to be predicated on like they say equal opportunities for everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be more or less, it's going to be the color of your skin is going to dictate, you know, how you live, your quality of life, right? You know what I mean? So and these were black people, right? So and these group of people, I don't want to. I'm gonna be pulling up. I got some brothers that's gonna be pulling in, and we gonna I'm gonna get you right with the information. But I'm just stating a claim loosely before before the dialogue begins, giving you that history of it, right? So um, basically, and that's so the critical race theory is basically, like I said, theory is idea. So these are basically people who's uh, you know added to that idea, could you say, or just notice the similarities in the times in the different situations. 'Cause like I said, this initial theory was in Germany. You know what I mean? So I was arguing with my bro about it yesterday, like, because he was blaming, thinking it, bringing it back to black people, which I feel sometimes he tends to do a little bit too much. And you know what I mean? Just I'm just thinking, like, probably was classisms and things in Germany, because I'm sure it wasn't too many black people in Germany in the 20s. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I'm sure it was a couple. Obviously, there's black people all over this world. I mean, he's been all over this world, but it wasn't. I don't believe it was. You know what I'm saying? That was a situation or whatever. But you know what I mean. So right now, the thing is, right now, the issue that's going on right now, why it's such a hot topic, is that right now a lot of the states, certain states have already banned this in the curriculum, that they don't want your kids to learn um things that they, I guess, regard as um, critical race theory, which will be, in I guess in their words, brainwashing the black kids to think, to feel, I guess maybe inferior or whatever, and the white kids to feel some kind of guilt, white guilt, to um, we shouldn't, taint the youth with those ideas and with those ideologies. That's pretty much the take that they're, how they taking it. And it's crazy, because how could the truth be, misconstrued as some kind of ideology? I mean, we're trying to give history, you know what I mean? But then it goes to, um, why would they want to? That makes you ask more questions. It would make me ask more questions. Why would they want to, hide the truth from you? Why would they want to not tell you the history of this country? Why would they not want your kids to know the true history? You know what I mean? So, that's what we want to talk about. You know what I mean? That's what we want to talk about. That's what we want to have some dialogue about. Um, so we got a few brothers backstage. Um, let me see what my brothers are. What's up, Rosewood?
Bonds, what's up, my J?
Fully in the
You
building, my
know,
guy.
reporting live from the studio, man. You
Yeah, that's
know,
what's up, man.
Bill Studios, man. We working here, man. Got our own situation set up here. Young black entrepreneurs, man. Trying to get
Exactly,
it by any
exactly.
means necessary. Bonds,
Yeah, I
you
will
know, I
be
would
man,
carry it.
on the tap in, man. Touch that mic, man. Bless that booth, man.
Look, hey, listen. The booth right here for your name to go right there, baby.
Oh yeah,
Spot is the spot
sir.
for your name on there.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You know,
sir. Yes, sir.
sir, yes, sir, yes,
All right.
sir.
Well, today we touching on this. I don't know how familiar you are with the critical race theory, but we touching on the critical race theory right now.
hmm
And
Now, I heard of that, and I probably did a little bit of homework, but I'm not exactly sure what it really is.
right. So
If you
Lucy,
can give me like a little summary of it.
Lucy, like I was just saying, the critical race theory, right? Basically, it stems from a theory, right? And which is theory is just a thought. So it transitioned from the guy who originally made a theory in Germany in the 20s based on their situation, Karl Marx, which was a Marxist theory, right? So it was like a critical theory. It's basically he's just sat back and seeing that the way things was going in society and the way people were the way people were afforded opportunities in society and the abilities to succeed as far as education and things like that, it was mainly predicated on like some kind of classism or some kind of race. It wasn't just about everybody had a fair shake, right? So that's where the critical race theory kind of stemmed from. So it turned to the critical race theory from that movement and things like that. So now it's a bill's on the table. A lot of states, certain states has already passed this bill and it's on the table of the other states where they're trying to ban certain curriculum from school being taught to kids, stating that it's under some, the ideology poisoning the youth, basically. You know what I mean? So they don't want our kids to know the true history of themselves in this country and the part that they play. I don't know. They want to deny it. I don't know. A lot of people, even black people. I don't know.
That's been a situation forever. They never if they let the truth out, then they will no longer exist. What's up, young? They would no longer exist. Their ideologies were proved that it was false or it no longer exists or whatever, and they would no longer exist. So that's why they're doing that. They're doing that as a survival tactic. I think they always did that as a survival tactic. To stay relevant out here in the world. So, of course, they're not going to want, they're not going to really want you to put what our ideology in with theirs or get theirs out there and put theirs in because then their kids have to listen to us.
Right.
So, when their kids got to listen to us, then what can they tell their kids? Nothing. Then you bring a whole new generation in.
All right. So y'all already know Prince of War. We got my guy Don Nunda. You know what I mean?
Salute. Salute.
Round thing from the
Hey, Don, your mic sound really low.
Sound low?
Or is that my mic? How do I sound, brother?
That's your mic.
How I sound now? Still on the same time?
You're a little low, Don.
All right, let me hook this up. All right.
You're good, though.
How's my mic?
Your mic is good.
All right.
I know me and you talked about it, bro, so I know you could
damn, I had a bunch of pages up, man, but
okay, you got some info you want to pull up?
Yeah, I would need a second. I gotta double back on it.
All right.
Find where everything was. But
information is always welcome.
Yeah, so just give me a minute. I'm gonna put myself in the back screen so you brothers can go ahead. But shalom, shalom, everyone. All praise to the Most High. I thank the Most High that He allowed us to have this moment of unity to come together, brothers. But I'm gonna take it backstage while I pull up some of this info. All right, shalom.
All right, yeah. Get some good information for y'all. But yeah, Dawn, when you get your sound right.
Yeah, I sound a little still low.
Okay, yeah, you good.
I'm good now.
Yeah. Okay. So how familiar are you with the critical race theory and what's your stance on it?
Oh, I'm definitely familiar with it. We already know, as a people, we've been placed inside this, and actually this goes back, and this was actually something that was written in the book Plato Republic. This goes back that far. It was written in actually that book. It was written by Socrates and Sophocles and things of that nature, and Plato. And it's like they place things into these. They place everybody into their own place of origin, their own class of people. You know what I mean? And it definitely stands as a pure race thing today.
Right.
But at that time, it was just a class thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because when they dealt amongst themselves.
Right.
You
Fact.
And that's how that was. We just integrated through it. We already know through slavery and through change of command and things of that nature. We know how we became,
Yeah.
amongst part of that. And they just pushed that whole ideology onto us. They pressed it,
Right.
stamped us with it, saying,
Right.
we're going to keep these people in this. Because I tell brothers, like, really read Plato the Republic. And when you actually see that how they was placing people in classifications and how the government, they were saying, we're going to lie to the people. We will never tell the people what it is. You know what I mean? A king will be a king. You know what I mean? A carpenter will be a carpenter. You know what I mean? Your whole family, your lineage will be exactly of what that is, of that character and that stature.
Facts.
They push it and they propagate even to this to today. That's why it's so hard for us to climb out of that barrel. Unless we're doing what? Entertainment. We shooting the ball. You know what I mean? These are the only ways we're really making it out for how many years.
Right.
The only way that we was able to be successful. So it's definitely a valid point that has a stance on us today, even as we speak. And definitely I believe it's all oppression. You know what I mean? This is definitely an ideology of a supremacist. That's
Yes.
on capitalization and keeping people oppressed and keeping the brothers down, just period. No matter how you look at it, no matter how you view it, because you're placed in a class and you're left there forever. There's no way you can get, come out of that. You'll still be labeled as a nigga. You know what I mean? For lack of better words. You know what I mean? They're still gonna place you in that battle. I don't care. And you can look at it and say, no matter how successful the brother is, what are they calling him? They gonna call him a nigga.
Yeah, like you saying, like if you was a carpenter and your lineage is a carpenter, what they gonna call you? Carpenter. Or you the carpenter's son, or you the carpenter's daughter, same thing. Like you said, bonds with Marxism. Same type of ideology, but like the brother was saying, they were using it against them. Now, with capitalism in America, with America being formed, they formed it against, other races, and put it like that. Their whole agenda is their race. They pretty much they did accomplish that. The Middle Passage made sure that we didn't know anything that we left behind. They made sure everything was all tangled up, and we still made a way to come together and have our own language, have our own slang. So they already been planning that or had that in motion, since the Portuguese was going to Africa taking slaves.
Right. And that's a part of the thing, like, that's why that's why my thing is, not why. I'm not ignorant as to why, but I guess it's just like I guess it's just like
yes.
This is the part, because it's two parts to it, right? Because like I was arguing with, me and Prince of War was arguing, but right. When you have a theory, that's just an idea, right? So it didn't went to a place where people have built on it, or even the dude that made the theory itself, like even the carbon, like this dude was like, this was I guess you could say he also was instrumental in the you know what I mean, as far as the Germans and the Jews and the whole Holocaust and the whole, you know what I'm saying, thing and all of that stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is this, regardless, that's where he took the theory. That's where he took the idea, right? So we're not siding with him, but the actual idea is true, for one, and it's relevant right now to Black people in this country. So, you know what I mean? Sometimes we gotta like, and my thing, I don't try to make everything about black and white. You know what I'm saying? I look at it like it's good as evil. You got Black people that you know what I'm saying, that'll hang you from a tree faster than any clam member. You know what I mean? So I don't really look at everything like that, but also, when it comes to that, you know what I mean?
Allow me to interject. I want to define, like before, when brothers have a conversation, to be on the same page, we all gotta agree on the same definitions of words. So let's start there. Let's define what they define. You understand?
Oh, can you repeat that? Can you repeat what you just said?
I was saying, can we come to an agreement on what is the definition of critical race theory by what they define it to be. So I'm gonna just pull up the definition. On
Now they
Wikipedia.
who?
Say again, brother.
By who? By how who defines it?
Whoever came up with the term. Yeah. Make sure.
Yeah,
y'all
no,
can see.
I think no. Okay, yeah,
Can y'all see the page? Is it clear?
Yeah.
I can see it. It's just small.
How about you, Barnes? How it look
Yeah,
on
I
your?
see it. And I know. Well, yeah, I can.
All right. So check it, right? It says, I'm gonna read it. Tell me, critical race theory or CRT is a body of legal scholarship and an academic movement of civil rights scholarship and activists in the United States that seeks to critically examine U.S. laws as it intersects with issues of race in the U.S. and to challenge mainstream American liberal approaches to racial justice. CRT examines social, cultural, and legal issues primarily as they relate to race and racism in the United States. Okay, so let me just drop this real quick. So, with that definition, what do you guys say about this definition? I'll read it again just to be clear. Critical race theory is a body of legal scholarship and an academic movement of civil rights scholars and activists in the United States. So let's start right there. Let's stop right there. So Don Under, what you say about that aspect of things, about that part of it, their definition? Say about that aspect.
Well, actually, I need you to repeat that for me real quick because you guys sound like you're on a computer. It broke up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse my feed. Excuse my feed if it's not clear.
No, you good over here, brother.
Okay.
You good over here.
Okay, I was just asking. What do you think about this definition? As the first part of this definition, critical race theory is a body of legal scholarship and an academic movement of civil rights scholars and activists in the United States. So, as they define it, I want to know who are they talking about when they say academic movement of civil rights scholarship, scholars and activists. Who is that?
It says them. It says their names. It's a group. It says the people's name.
Right.
And does it say what the year was? Does it say what year this was?
We started. It was like the 70s and 80s. It was
okay. So
yeah.
Okay, let me go back to the screen sharing. Let me go back to screen sharing so we could walk through it.
Yeah, because I would like to know the date. The date this was formed.
So it says
First
CRT originated in the mid 1970s in the writings of several American legal scholars, including Derek Bell, Alan Friedman, Kimberly Crenshaw, Richard Delgado. I don't know any of these people. Do you know any of these people?
I don't know those people. I know works that
I heard.
Yeah.
The second person you said, I heard of that name before.
Okay, all right, I'll continue. It says it emerged as a movement by the 1980s, reworking theories of critical legal studies with more focus on race. Just real quick definition of critical legal studies is a school of critical thought that first emerged as a movement in the United States during the 1970s. CLS adherence claims that laws are used to maintain the status quo of social power structure. It is also held that the law is a codified form of social bias. But let's continue. It says CRT is grounded in critical theory and draws from thinkers such as, and I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Antonio Gramsci, or Sojourner Truth, Frederick Douglass, W.E.B. Du Bois, as well as the Black Power, Chicano, and radical feminist movements from the 1960s and the 70s. Boy, oh boy. I see. That's why I got a problem when they start intermingling different things, bro. That's when they start making a definition of one a simple word extra, and that's about how they define.
That's the thing. That's why I'm saying, like, that's the thing I was trying to bring out. Like, a theory. It's just a thought. So it has been, that thought has been exaggerated, and different people has done different things. Like it's the same thing that Karl Marx did, that the CRT did, but it was just different. It was this time it was about black people. That there it was about
It was
class.
a different time.
It's a
Different
theory.
time.
It's a theory. So my whole thing is, how can we attack a theory? It's just a thought. You know what I'm saying? First of all,
It's not. It's weird, right? It's not a
and
fact.
there are
It's not a
people-
fact.
Well, go ahead. Let's get the brother Don. I want to get Don under his perspective, if you could.
Now, in hindsight, all right. Now, when we're saying in theory, yeah, exactly what the brother, Vaughn said, it is nothing but a thought. But the people who are presenting this thought, the criteria in which they, the characteristics in which they stand, who are speaking out for the masses within this? You know what I'm saying? Who are they defining? Right. Who are the people that's being defined? You know what I mean? And in relation to us, or correlation to us. You know what I mean? As a people. You know what I mean? Now, the part that we reach out to us when he's saying mainstream American liberal approaches to racial injustice. Now, who are the liberals?
The white people that like black people. That's what we say in the hood.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to actually read within the lines of everything that they're saying. You're saying to seek critically examine U.S. law as it intersects with issues of race in the United States. All right. Now that could be for or against us. You know what I mean? So it pulls you to take a stand. You know I don't know with the background, but who are we actually? Are they speaking about us? You know what I mean? Or are we doing it like the Constitution again? You know what I mean? Where we think we're part of the conversation, but actually we weren't.
We weren't. Facts. I understand that. I mean? That's a good point. That's a good point you made there, bro. That's a real excellent point there.
So I like to read
because nobody,
right?
Nobody really, not to cut you off. Nobody really thinks about that. As far as like the Constitution, us thinking we're a part of something, but really we were still 2/5 of a person, whatever it was. We weren't free, even though they had this document that says everybody else is. So within you saying that, we definitely know like who's trying to say they're with us and who's going against us, and what ideology is going against us and what ideology is going with us. So we really need to know that. And I'm glad the brother broke down the term of the critical race theory, exactly what it is. Because like I told Bonds earlier, I wasn't really sure what it was. Right. I heard it thrown around a lot, do a lot of stuff. And when you broke it down and like you saying all the other stuff they added on, now it's like it's watered down. So I understand now why I was hearing it from several different things. Oh, it's this, it's that. It's this. No, critical race theory is this. We're debating on the block what it really is, because we really don't know. So that's why I'm glad you really broke that down to me. I appreciate that, my J.
Right.
Okay. Well, I want to continue reading this because this stuff is very important that we understand these things. So it says,
yes.
It says, let me make sure I'm going the right. It says, while critical race theorists do not share, let me make this clear. While critical race theorists do not share the same belief, can everybody mute their mic?
No,
Thank you, brothers. While critical race theorists do not all share the same beliefs, the basic tenets of CRT included that racism and I can't even see that. Lord have mercy. Desperate racial outcomes are the result of complex, changing, and often subtle social and institutional dynamics rather than the explicit and intentional prejudices on the part of the individual. Wow, that's ridiculous. Yeah. Can you brother hear me?
Can you repeat that one more time for me, brother? Run through that again.
All right. It says, while critical race theorists do not all share the same beliefs, the basic tenets of CRT includes that racism and somebody mic is that my mic? Is that my mic with the feedback? Yeah, can you hear me, brothers?
Yeah, we can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear
We
you.
can hear you. I think that's your mic with the feedback.
Rosewood. I think that's your mic, Rosewood, with the feedback. How
Sound
my
like
mic
a
sound to you, Barnes?
wire.
Barnes, how my mic sound?
You good?
All right. Let me read this real quick. Okay, it says, while critical race theorists do not all share the same belief, the basic tenets of CRT includes that racism and disparate. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Racial outcomes are the result of complex, changing, and often subtle social and institutional dynamics rather than implicit and intentional prejudices on the part of the individuals. So they all saying that they basically agree that all the tenets of CRT, all the theorists, they all agree that when it comes to that is it's the system and its institutions and the things of that nature that causes racism, and opposed to the individual as their intentional and implicit prejudices that's causing this thing. So they basically saying they're blaming the institution rather than the person, the individuals. You brothers there? Rosewood?
Yeah, yeah. My bad for the feedback. I'm just outside the studio. I apologize. Now, I was just wanted to ask, isn't there systemic racism? I guess regular racism. Don't they have different sections of racism? So
Right.
are they talking about like the institutional racism what we have today? Not the racism that's just straight in your face, with the flag and all that, but the institutionalized racism where you don't see, you're caught up in the system. Are they are they saying that's what the problem is? Like, are they saying that's the problem? I'm just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. That's
Like,
what critical race theorists are saying. That's well. It's just basically what it is that critical race theorists have acknowledged that. People have acknowledged that. We have all acknowledged that. So it doesn't take critical race theory. The thing is that now they're trying to categorize it as critical race theory, and this is detrimental now to this is dangerous information for kids, right? Because it breeds a certain attitude, right? It's supposed to, they saying it instills white guilt in the white kids and stuff like that. So basically, they don't want your kids to know that. But listen, this is not what made. This is just the history of what's going on. But that's my opinion. But yeah, basically.
Well, let me continue reading, because this is what they're saying this stuff is, and people don't know what they are saying that it is. So when we hear arguments, we don't know whether the argument is true or false because we don't even know what they're arguing about. So it says CRT scholars also view race and white supremacy as an intersectional social construct which serves to uphold the interests of white people against those of marginalized communities at large. In the field, so now this is a different type of CRT. In the field of legal studies, CRT emphasizes that merely making laws colorblind on paper may not be enough to make the application of the laws colorblind. Ostensibly colorblind laws can be applied in racially discriminatory ways. A key CRT concept is intersectionality. Intersectionality is an analytical framework from understanding how aspects of persons' social and political identities combine to create different models of discrimination and privileges. The term was conceptualized and coined by Kimberly Williams Crenshaw in 1989. And all of this is saying what intersectionality, which is just a bunch of nonsense, is saying a woman will be discriminated. They'll look at the discrimination of a black woman, the fact that she's a Christian, the fact that she's black, and the fact that she's a woman, right? And they'll say that a job may not be discriminating on her, the fact that she's black, because they might not discriminate on black men, but the fact that she's a black woman and the fact that she is the main two factors combined. That intersectionality of those two components is why discrimination would take place. This is a nonsense theory, but whatever, to each his own. A key CRT concept is intersectionality, which emphasizes that race can intersect with other identities such as gender and class to produce complex combination of power and disadvantages. So it's not a short topic, but anybody want to jump in? Dawn, you want to say something?
I mean, it goes into a lot of things, man. I mean, when we think about it in hindsight, you know what I mean? Now, y'all remember we started this from Karl Marx, from Marxism. You know what I mean? You got to remember this. And then we go into this right here, which is like at the end of this is where it's like they cause degrees of separation, where they're trying to separate from it. But in the beginning of it, when you start, it's the same thing. You know what I mean? So we definitely have to be politically correct. You know what I mean? When we speak on this topic, because it teeter-totters. I believe it goes back and forth. You know what I mean? And not too much in our favor. I don't believe it goes into the minorities, which we are the majority, but the minority people favor at all. I don't think it actually shows our stance. You know what I mean? In its entirety. You know what I mean? Because all these things, these theories are based on white supremacy. It's based off that. So what do we get at the end of the day? I mean, they say they're going to challenge the race and the rights. All right, challenge the civil rights. Okay. What civil rights do we actually have? What civil rights have we actually ever had?
True. None. None. They can put it on paper, but it don't mean it's going to really materialize.
It don't stick. Now this goes as far as, okay, when we're saying placing everybody into classes, okay, for example, why our children within New York, we're all into zone districts. We're zoned. You know what I mean? This is more of this social elite, nonsense where, okay, you don't get the proper amount of education because you're not from this section of Brooklyn or this section of Queens or this section of the Bronx.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you're entitled to less than end of the stick. Okay, now when we go into the criminal injustice, and how far that goes since the beginning of time. Every law that was set up was always set up in hindsight to endanger and just take us off the street. Period. I don't care how we place it. Because let me show you a little homework I've been doing over here, man. All right. Now when we're talking about Karl Marx, all right, and who this individual was before, because this comes from Marxism. He was a German philosopher, an economist, a historian, sociologist. You know what I mean? A political theorist, journalist, and social revolutionary. He was born, born in Germany. He studied law and philosophy. You know what I mean? So with knowing that a little bit on the background of this man. Now, just because you were, quote unquote German, I don't say that you were, against black people or against people, period, just because you were of German descent. I don't believe in that. You know what I mean? Yes, it was bad apples and things of that nature. But when we think about these things, right? All right, and in hindsight of that, also think about this. Communism. Because that's what this jump, this the latter head of communism, when they say, all right, it's a political theory derived from Karl Marx. It's derived from Karl Marx, advocating class, war, and leading to to society in which all property is publicly owned. Now listen to this. It's publicly owned by each person and works is paid according to their abilities and their needs. All right? Which is something that we are supposed to be against as far as being the United States government. You know what I'm saying? From the beginning. But we support it. The country supports the same theory. You have to, I actually realized that. We actually supports the same theory that is supposed to be so against. You know what I mean? And we're supposed to be set up to be so against. But our structure, the structure of everything, how it all breaks down with this man, all right, a sociologist, a political theorist. All right, so now we're going into politics, which is going into law. You know what I mean? So everything, it kind of, it correlates into where we at today, right? I'll give you one more thing, man. All right. Now, the systematic oppression and justice, all right, we already agreed that that's from white supremacy. But the critical race theory laws, there were laws that were inducted off of this theory alone. And this is what we're saying that we were fighting against in the 70s and 80s. But what about the 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s? You know what I mean? When we actually really want to think about this, really, it just came up. And if you can remember, brother, please tell me what year you said that this was actually being fought and deliberated in court.
I think he said the 70s, right?
The
It was
70s.
in the 70s?
It might have been. It started forming in the 70s. I don't think it was formulated in the started formulating in the course to the 80s, maybe even the 90s.
Now, you know what I mean? That's a crime and injustice within itself.
Yeah, because they were drawn, like they said, those people were drawn from the teachings of like W.E.B. Du Bois and things like that. So, you know, but like I said, and my idea, that was an extension of the theory. You know what I'm saying? And in my idea, it wasn't even that. It wasn't even nothing complex. Who? What type of genius does it take to sit back and say like, "Yo, things ain't fair"? I mean, he ain't come up with no elaborate theory. He said things wasn't fair. It was one of my class.
The being
Baby can tell you.
is a giant oppression. That's all it is. It's a huge oppression, and they know exactly what it is. Because with us being oppressed and us being placed in these zones, you got to realize the things that took place also actually in these zones that we deal with even today.
Okay, so so now is the question is this: why are they saying that it's white supremacy? Why are they saying it's a negative thing? Like, what kind of attitude, right? Let's say they saying it's gonna breed what, like some white guilt and the white. So like, what kind of attitude is this gonna bring into the kids by them knowing the history of this country and the part that their forefathers played in?
Well, this is the thing, right? This is the thing. First of all, it's not going to do any of that. All it's going to do is going to show white supremacy. It's going to take the mask off of white supremacy and show its face. You know what I'm saying? Where people can't deny it no more. People can't hide it no more because they're going to show it in the law. They're going to show how in the law, even though laws are supposed to be colorblind, we can still show the implementation of those laws, how they became racist laws. Okay, even though it's on paper, it's just words on paper, but the implementation of it makes it racist. We can show how the school system is designed to hurt Black people, right? Specifically us. Right, to hurt us with a school to prison pipeline, right? We can show this. So all they're saying is critical race theory is white supremacy being taught as it is, and breaking it down and being taught where we can observe it and call a spade a spade. Now, why they don't want people to hear that is because they don't want you to learn about white supremacy, because white supremacy is totally against everything that you stand for. Everything that any stand-up person believes in, far as justice, right? We all believe in justice. White supremacy is against justice. You know what I'm saying? So we all are about peace. White supremacy is not about peace. We can look in the history of the white supremacy and see the history. So we can clearly see that it's not about peace. So this is what the argument. But before anybody respond, I want to show a video, right? Because this is one of our problems of us not knowing and being aware, right? I want to show this father, this dude who with his daughter, and look at the information that he presents to the people. Hold on, let me cue it up real quick.
Light, brother, light.
All right, I think it's this one, the father. Okay, no. That's not it. Forgive me. I wanted to use a different one. Yeah, I don't know. It keeps sending up the wrong one. Let me try one more time.
While you trying to do that, can I just speak on something real quick? While you trying to get it done, if it's not coming up yet.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can, brother.
Yeah. Now, I was just saying. I just wanted to say it really goes up there. What my brother up the top was saying. It goes on in the communism, capitalism. It's all one big
Rosewood, you
Yeah.
there, brother?
And the one big thing is white supremacy. Like you said, that's against what we stand for. That's what supremacy is.
And that's their attempt to control the information that we get. Dangerous.
All right, let me play the video real quick, brothers. All right, now that's queued up. It's only 1 minute, so bear with me, all right?
You can be any. Daddy teaches you can be anything in this world that you want to be, right? Don't Daddy teach you that?
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you're black or white or any color.
Doesn't matter if you're black, white, brown, yellow, right?
Black.
And how we treat people is based on who they are and not what color they are.
And if they're nice and smart.
See, this is how children think right here. Critical race theory wants to end that. Not with my children. It's not gonna happen. My baby's gonna know that no matter what she wants to be in life, all she has to do is work hard, and she can become that.
Work hard, even though you don't know anyone. You can make friends.
Yeah, you can make friends, no matter what color they are. So we need to stop CRT. Period. Point blank. Children do not see skin color, man. They love everybody. If they're good people, they love them.
We pray for people that are hurt.
Daddy too.
All right. So, yo, brother, look,
bait and switch, the good old bait and switch. But bro,
He lost, man.
Just to get us.
Brothers
hold on. Let's go around the room one at a time. Barnes, go ahead, set it off one at a time, man. And if we could keep our comments down to about a minute, 2 minutes, so we can.
I'm gonna do it quick, man. I'm gonna be quick, man. That brother's lost, man. I understand. You know what I mean? He's saying kids don't see colors and all that. We raising people, and adults run the world. And the truth of the matter is, you know what I mean? This country was predicated on something, and and I'm gonna end it with just a fact that people that pay attention know, right? You could tell, it's been said a bunch of times, a lot of people may not know, but you could tell a future by looking at the past, man. There's no way in the world we should be blinding, holding back, dulling down, dismissing, writing off any part of history, man. The good, the bad, the ugly, man. So yeah, I mean, that's me.
Go ahead, Don, is on you, and then we'll get Brother Rosewood.
I'll give you a fact in life, and I'll stick it on this, right? The perpetrator usually never remember the victim. The victim always remembers his perpetrator. You understand? And we have to remember, they want your history to be forgotten. They want you to say, oh, forget about this. But remember the Jewish Holocaust. Oh, let's remember this. Oh, remember that. But what happened to you, black man? And your numbers are still unaccounted for. Your numbers are still unaccounted for to this day. Forget all of that. Forget what we did to you. Because they know that the knowledge that we have, man, is so empowering. You understand? Once you know these things, you able to walk better, you able to raise your kids better, you able to be a better man, you able to teach your queen to be a better queen. Which does what? Builds up your power, builds up your community, builds up your neighborhood, it builds everybody. And it's each one teach one, because we are people who emulate. We move off emulation.
Right.
You know what I mean? What we see is what we want, what we like, what we try to go get. If I see powerful, strong black people, I want to be a part of that. We are social beings by natural habitat, bro, by selection. We want to do these things when we see it. You know what I mean? Same way we fell into the wickedness and the shaitan way. When we seen that, oh, we went that way. You know what I mean? But more the positive and more that good things in your face, the more you're going to want. But for them to put this young man up there with this young girl and just say, basically, forget your history. Bro, that's water under the bridge.
Right.
You shouldn't understand, you shouldn't understand why you need to be this strong, why you need to be this much smarter, why you need to have this much more courage, why you need to have this much more intuition. You know what I mean? This is why. Your past is why. Your ancestors died for you to have what you have, for you to even be in this school right now, which is a super insult.
Right.
Brothers and sisters died trying to get an education. But you know what? You want me to push that under the rug? Sad, man. I passed the mic. That's sad, bro.
Right.
Now, I would, for me speaking on it, I would, quote Frederick Douglass as saying the most two important boxes are the ballot box and the bullet box. And that means that they need a bullet so they can go vote, and that means voting is power. So when you start giving the history, because they say once you know better, you do better, right? So if we never know better, we're never going to do better. They're going to make sure we don't know. So that starts with the curriculum for one, definitely. They're going to put that in the curriculum. And right now, even with like we're talking about the group that was bringing the critical race theory up here in America, the curriculum still ain't changed. If you're in Philadelphia, you get one curriculum. If you go to the county, you get a whole different curriculum. So it definitely didn't change. And with main man saying that is almost like trying to pull the wall over your eyes and say like, yo, look, oh, everything's all cool by y'all for real, for real. It's not about this. This is how the kids think. No, we're supposed to be teaching the kids so they can make the future better. So if you let the kid just decide what it's supposed to be, where's the adult? Where's the responsibility? So with main man saying that, definitely, I agree with Bonds. I won't say laws, but that's his opinion. That's opinion, but that's not fact. Because the fact is that systemic racism runs very, 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 very deep. And it runs from the school to prison industrial complex. You can point it out right there. Because no matter what you do in this life, you still, like I said, I'm gonna say a farmer or a worker. You're still that same person. You're not gonna change.
What he's doing is called lying. He's 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 juxtaposing, right, what he believes critical race theory is, right, and with his white supremacist talking points of critical race theory is this. He's trying to tell you what critical race theory is by telling you how we're gonna make people feel. He never defined what critical race theory was. So
Right.
what he's doing is lying because we can clearly see it's defined. It has a definition of what critical race theory is. So it's not what people think it is. So with that alone, what he's done is done nothing but propaganda, and propaganda is a lie. So we got to be clear on that, and we got to call a spade, brother. You use your daughter to lie, and that is not a good thing. You need to repent and come back, man. To Christ, come back to the Most High, man. For real, man.
Well,
Because
yeah. My bad, Bonds.
like
I was just gonna say I'm not gonna knock main man, and I don't know his religious beliefs or how he's brung up, but one thing that I seen in it was ignorance. It was ignorance. I'm not gonna say lost, he dumb. It's ignorance. It's
that was
really not
ignorance.
know.
It was
It's
ignorance,
really
and
I
he's
seen a lot
lost.
of ignorance.
He's lost because, like, listen, why would you say? How does you know in the history of who you are in relation to the country that you live in right now and that you're supposed to serve, right, for your entire life? How is that gonna? How is that automatically saying you can't be nothing? That's not saying that. So, like you said, bro, that's a lie. He's lying to anyway. Nobody's saying that. Critical race theory ain't saying that. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, bro. Like we gotta is a situation where like you gotta know where you came from and you gotta know the strides that the forefathers made so you could keep that fight going. You can keep pushing that. Don't be under the assumption that you know what I'm saying. That's a false assumption that you're gonna be treated as a white person in this country. Like, come on now.
Because white people take their lineage real serious.
Yeah. Hold on, Rosewood.
They take their lineage so serious. My bad.
No, it's all good. Hold on, because I want to go around the table again. I want to show another video because I want y'all to understand this is the propaganda that they're pushing, right? No, people don't look up words anymore. You know what I'm saying? So let's be clear. So I want to show you a person to talk about a thing and they'll share this video instead of the definition of what it actually means. So all right. If we all can mute our mic while the video show. All right. How do I get this going? Boom.
you talk about critical race theory, which is pretty much going to be teaching kids how to hate each other, how to dislike each other, that's pretty much, I don't care what you say, it's pretty much what it's going to all come down to. You're going to deliberately teach kids, this white kid right here got it better than you because he white? You're going to personally tell a white kid, oh, the black people are all down and suppressed. How do I have 2 medical degrees if I'm sitting here oppressed? How do I get, first of all, we only got 5 minutes.
I want to stop right there for a second, brothers.
Please do. Please do, my
I want to stop right there.
I know you're trying to enlighten.
I got 3
main
more.
man was making me he's making me 10 times dumber with that right there.
Medical degree. I got 3 more questions for you.
Come on, yo. Like, he made me 10 times dumber saying that, man.
You know what it is? Again, brothers, what he's doing is called gang saying, bro. He's lying by participation because he doesn't know the meaning of critical race theory. That's what's going on. So now he's using white supremacist talking points, bro. What he's saying is perpetuated by the white supremacists. So, because it doesn't say that. That's not what critical race theory is about. So that idea
hating the color
from them, from the white supremacists. But I'm go ahead. Let's have a roundabout on that one part, and then we can continue. Go ahead, Barnes. You got it. I see you over there eating some strawberries or something.
Yeah, a little fruit basket. But yeah, man, exactly. Just like you said, bro. He's repeating the white supremacist talking points. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, but also what I understand too is that, there is a lot of people in our culture, a group of people within our culture who are so displaced, man. And it's the ignorance that, they don't, it's kind of like the boys in the head. Either they don't know, don't show.
No, don't show.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So they're not looking at themselves. Maybe he whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not a personal thing. Like, of course, we do know everybody has the right, the opportunity in this country today. I do believe that to accomplish whatever it is that they want to accomplish. Now, is the journey going to be different for different people? Come on, we know that. You know what I'm saying? Now, where have we came from? And also, most importantly, 400 years of generational genocide and oppression, and it has no residual effect on people a couple years later. What are you talking about? Like, it's written in black and white. We had a constitution that had to get amended for us. So come on, what are we talking about? What are we talking about don't exist? The truth and the facts of the history? It already happened. You can't say it don't exist. So you saying you don't want to talk about it? That's crazy.
No, it's all good. Go ahead, Don. You got it. Let's try to remember. Let's just pass the mic as quickly as possible because we just hit the hour mark. Are you good, Bon? Go ahead, Don. You got the table. You got the floor.
That was really insult. That was an insult. Because for every one person that make it out, you gotta forgive him. He just forgot how many people are left behind. How many people
facts
who come up on these riches, so to speak. It ain't got to just be financial or just grew up in a better neighborhood and they escape certain things. You got to remember, some people still believe that we get Mirandized. They still believe that the officers jump out and announce themselves as police officers. This is literally in their mind. They say, hey, you have the right to remain silent, and they really do. So, and this is one of those brothers that actually do. You know what I mean? And I don't go as far as calling them the graham cracker effect and things of that nature. I just say these are brothers that are actually lost. You know what I mean? That need to find, we need to find them as well as they need to find us. Because he definitely have the intellect to get where you need to be. But it's ways to show others instead of that's a shunt. To me, that's like shunning your people more so than saying, hey, if I can get this, I'm going to show you how we can get this, black people. Let me show you how we can get this, people. Not just running and pushing that supremacist thought, that terminology right there. That's real next.
You muted, I think, bro.
No, praise. I was saying, go ahead, Roosevelt. You got the floor. We could get back to the video. I think.
Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to say, like, I just wanted to make a point, especially on this. Between the first guy and the second guy, he definitely has an agenda. You see the background of the kids he's talking to. You see how he's talking to them. like that. And like Brother Don said, you can't forget about the people that didn't make it. You know, the statistic of the people that didn't make it, or people that have those degrees and stuff and still can't make it in the field that they're in. You know, he's not going to speak on those things. He's going to speak on white supremacist ideology or whatever and speak on that. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. All right, listen, there's ways to make money or whatever or do what you want, but we cannot forget all the injustices that all my great grandfather, like we only 4 generations removed from this. 4 generations removed. So for you not to be teaching this, if you could teach any other world history, you know, if you could teach about the Holocaust, you can teach about the Japanese concentration camps. You have to go in depth on how we got here and then going into all the injustices while we were here. From the time we got off the boat to whenever, and everything from them erasing the history, all the way up to saying who were the first people to start enslaving people from that part of Africa, and that was the Portuguese. So we need to put that straight in the curriculum. So when you read about the Portuguese, you should know that they were enslaving black people.
Or I will say this: it is a misconception. At all.
So I don't kick in that. It's the race, really the race to history. He has a freaking whatever. Somebody like him, he's crazy.
We losing you, brother. You there, Rosewood? Hello, Rosewood. I can't hear you. Rosewood, you there? Your mic is horrible. If you there, brother.
No, somebody's calling my phone. I apologize.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. But no,
I was just saying he has a certain agenda. He's out here. He has money motives. He has money. Like I can tell him in his mannerisms. I'm serious. He's using this. He's like, all right, look, I'm gonna use this. At the end of the day, America is a capitalism. So no matter what you believe in, somebody's going to exploit that for money.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's get back to the video for the people, just to show the people if this is the nonsense that's out here in this world. I'm gonna take it from the Tibbity.
When you talk about critical race theory, which is pretty much going to be teaching kids how to hate each other, how to dislike each other, that's pretty much, I don't care what you say, it's pretty much what it's going to all come down to. You're going to deliberately teach kids, this white kid right here got it better than you because he white. You're going to purposely tell a white kid, oh, the black people are all down and suppressed. How do I have 2 medical degrees if I'm sitting here oppressed? How do I get, first of all, I only got 5 minutes left, 5 minutes, 2 medical degrees. No mom, no dad in the house. Worked my way through college. Sat there and hustled my butt off to get through college. You gonna tell me somebody that looked like all y'all white folks kept me from doing that? Are you serious? What's sickening about this whole thing is what y'all doing right now is already something I do in my community right now to speak out against stuff, because black folks are getting told by other black folks, oh, you know you ain't gonna be able to do nothing out there in the world because them white folks ain't gonna let you get no, oh, you know you're not gonna be able to do it here because you know the white man gonna keep you down. Well, how did I get where I am right now if some white man kept me down? How am I now directing over folks that look just like you guys in this room right now? How? What kept me down? What oppressed me? I work for myself from off the streets to where I am right now. You gonna sit here and tell me this lie of critical race theory? Of this the reason why black folks can't get ahead because of white folks? Are you kidding me?
And I have to stop right there. I just is my I just had to stop right there. And again, brother,
I understand.
What the dude is doing, he's just lying, man. Like there's no cover-ups, man. We just got to be honest and call a spade a spade. The dude is just lying, man. And that's man. I don't know about his agenda, his intentions, but I just know the dude is lying.
He's definitely lying, and it's so crazy that there's people with that mind state or go out there and push that narrative. What he
said ain't have nothing to do with critical race theory. So what? You
exactly
went to school and you gotta go. What does that mean? That means racism doesn't exist in America. That's stupid.
He's lying. That's what I said. He's juxtaposing. What he's trying to do? He's trying to use this white supremacist talking point of, of nobody's holding you down, nobody's stopping you from doing well. That's number one. Number two is he's trying to paint the black man as the enemy by saying, oh, you got black people who look like me and you, telling other people, you can't be done because the white man is holding you down. So he's using that again. He's using the black man as the boogeyman of his own oppression. So he's doing a lot of stuff within the speech that he's doing. So, at the end of the day, we I'm not going to attack the brother, but I am going to attack his words, and in his words is lies, and he's a liar, and I charge him with that.
The thing is,
what I'm saying? Yeah, you got it, brother.
Yeah, not to cut nobody short, man. But the thing I know, he's in a room full of white people. A room full. I didn't see not one black face. Pardon me. No tan face. No butter pecan complexion. No, none of that in the audience. I seen older, male and female, white people. Who is he supposed to be? You always need
white. Yeah. That's the white liberal. The white liberal.
You always need a coon. They always need somebody that shake it, to do a jig, didn't they? They always had somebody
to teach.
Somebody had to be the fiddler in the roof. Somebody always got to be the fiddler. You know what I mean? It has to be. And it's they gotta put your own there. The same thing I give we had a president up there. Dark-skinned brother got up there and did what? Don't worry, I'll wait. Okay, they need somebody to do a jig every few years or every once in a while just to keep the masses, yo, what's going on? Looking at something, give us our fat, give us your fat, give us your ignorant, and we'll entertain you. You know what I mean? We'll entertain you by this other objectives that are definitely in agendas that are being pushed and narratives. And we're going to use you to actually put forth this narrative that's actually going to decimate your people. Because I want you to forget your history so you don't know where I'm about to take you. It never stopped. The oppression never stopped. We went from slavery to prison. How did we get to the prison point? How did we build America? They found us, they lock a black man up and spitting on the curb and give you 5 years, give you 10 years, hard labor. How you think the highways were built? How do you think the train stations were built? They wasn't built by white men.
Prisoners.
These are prisoners. We built jails. We built this country. It was black men. You're going to jail for this. You're going to jail for that. And then we had to be indigenous service.
Yeah, vagrancy laws.
Exactly. So many things. So for you to sit there, that shows that you truly, black man, and I'm talking to that black man, don't know your history, and you might want to recant those statements if you actually dig some research and do your own diligence. Say, hold on, whoa, yeah, I may have made it out, but this is why it's not more of me.
Right. He's not saying that.
I'm the only one standing on top. Oh, I did. I. Yeah, okay. Where's the I and we? Where's the we and I? It doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Unless you're saying I comes before you, which is in the alphabet, I get it. You know what I mean? But that's that aspect. Not good, man. Not cool, brother.
Yeah, and at the same time, I mean, just speaking on what he's saying, how he's saying it. Like you said, there's always you always need somebody to fiddler on the roof. You would say like that. You always need that. But what he's not saying is that, okay, yeah, I have these degrees, I have this paperwork or whatever, but he's not telling you the hardships that still come with that. Because you can go to school for whatever. That don't mean you're going to come out here and make the amount of money that you thought you were going to make. And at the same time, he's not telling you that, okay, I have these papers and these degrees and all this from wherever, but I'm not in no positions of power to push any buttons. And that's the one thing black people, we don't have. And the ones that, like you said, are the fiddlers on the roof, the black people think they're the ones in position of power that's pushing the buttons, but they're not. So he's not even going to say that. Like, listen, I got all these degrees, but I would never be in a position of power to push the buttons to control this country. Somebody in my color cannot do that.
Hold on for a second, brother. We got a question. We got a question from the brother Wade Wells, by way of New York, but he live in NC. Says, what age do you think a child should be before they're taught about slavery, the slave trade, things like that? And do you think a second grader feel inferior to his and make his white classmates superior? So that's two-part question. Let's go with the first. Let's get an answer on the first part. What age do you think a child should be before they're taught about slavery, slave trade, and things of that nature?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll say kindergarten, because that's when I learned about it when I was 5 years old.
Okay.
When I was 5 years old, I learned about Atlantic slave trade. So when you're in kindergarten, you should be learning about that.
Okay, Don, what say you?
I say since birth, from the time of birth, you need to know these things. Why? Because you were snatched away at birth. It was infants snatched away at birth. So why shouldn't you get knowledge from the time that you were able to receive it? Especially about this, what happened to you. And this, you know, this is what we need to. You need to know this from right now. You know, and that is that you can teach these things without teaching degrees and levels of hate. I can teach you about what happened to you without telling you to hate anybody that had anything to do. I don't have to teach hate. Hate is a learned term anyway. You learn hate. You know what I mean? That's what you learn. You don't wake up and, you know, we're not born with a hate gene. Sorry, that's a misconception.
Okay. Khan, no, I agree. I agree that the answer needs to be soon as possible. Like soon as possible, start teaching them about our history, about slavery, right, and then beyond, right? Because our history does not start as slavery. So let's be clear on that. I mean, you know, everybody can talk. Every
point. That was a good point. Good point, bro. Good point. Because talking about before slavery.
Yeah, exactly. Every nation can say what they contributed to this world and can say we added this or we added this. But as Dr. Claude Anderson would say, our ancestors invented breathing. So you can invent whatever you want, but our ancestors invented breathing. Just keep that in mind when you talk about you made this. Yeah, you made that, but we created breathing, bro. So always remember that, man. I want to show you another video because I showed two videos of two brothers going against critical race theory. Let's show another video of somebody else. Say again, brother.
Yeah, no, I was trying to say to the brother talking about how, you know, when should kids learn, like how early do kids learn the Star Spangled Banner or Pledge Allegiance and all of that? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They should learn it at that time.
Exactly.
And then
he had a second part. He had a second part.
Yeah, I was about to say the second part, right? Yeah.
Okay, he said, do you think a second grader feel inferior to his and make his white classmates superior?
Second graders feel inferior about, you know, who got better toys and stuff like that. He's a second grader. So their mind is not predicated on politics and things like that. So
that's 8 years old. That's 8 years old. That's 7 years old at that time.
He feels inferior to kids with better toys.
I agree.
That's 7 kids being kids.
Next question.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't even really discuss that. No, I don't.
But thank you for your question, bro. Appreciate you.
Yeah, indeed. So here's another.
Appreciate the question, Jeff.
This is a general in the military, right? So general in the military. Right, everybody mute their phones for the feedback, please.
The other thing that they raised to me was a seminar that over 100 cadets attended titled Understanding Whiteness and White Rage, taught by a woman who described the Republican Party platform as a platform of white supremacy. This is going on at West Point as we speak.
Can y'all hear that? Could y'all hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay, all right, yeah. So just to be clear, he said that the Republican Party, or someone he's saying, he's quoting what someone else is saying, that the Republican Party is a white supremacist party. And I would agree to that, and I will add that the Democratic Party is a white supremacist party. So, so it's just as simple as that. Nobody cares about that, and that's not an argument. Nobody should ever argue that. Like that's a waste of an argument. But
it is, because America is run on capitalism. You know, it's about money. It's about money. So yes, they both have white supremacist ideologies. but it's all about the money. It's all
Indeed.
about the money. And when it comes to being all about the money, you don't care about what's righteous. You don't care about what's fair. You don't have empathy for others. You only care about your bottom line. And that's the whole top structure.
Right. The top supreme, the white supremacists, those type of people, they don't care about they don't even care about all white people. So they ain't even just about white people.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
They
Exactly.
use black people all the time,
Facts.
and they make deals with black people all the time, and they kill and crush white people all the time.
Yeah. Well, Don, what say you about that quick statement that the senator said?
I mean, come on, man. I don't even want to reply on that, brother. We all know what the shenanigans is coming in that and where it's about to go. I want to hear the rest of what he's saying. That's what I want to do. I want him to finish that statement, bro.
All right. Let me break it for the tippity.
The other thing that they raised to me was a seminar that over 100 cadets attended titled Understanding Whiteness and White Rage, taught by a woman who described the Republican Party platform as a platform of white supremacy. This is going on at West Point as we speak to our future military leaders. And sir, I would encourage you, I would demand that you get to the bottom of what is going on.
But I do think it's important, actually, for those of us in uniform to be open-minded and be widely read. And the United States Military Academy is a university. And it is important that we train and we understand. And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white, and I want to understand it. So what is it that caused thousands of people to assault this building and try to overturn the Constitution of the United States of America? What caused that? I want to find that out. I want to maintain an open mind here, and I do want to analyze it. It's important that we understand that because our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Guardians, they come from the American people. So it is important that the leaders now and in the future do understand it. I've read Mao Zedong. I've read Karl Marx. I've read Lenin. That doesn't make me a communist. So what is wrong with understanding, having some situational understanding about the country for which we are here to defend? And I personally find it offensive that we are accusing the United States military, our general officers, our commissioned, non-commissioned officers of being, quote, woke or something else because we're studying some theories that are out there. That was started at Harvard Law School years ago, and it proposed that there were laws in the United States, antebellum laws prior to the Civil War that led to a power differential with African Americans that were 3/4 of a human being when this country was formed. And then we had a Civil War and Emancipation Proclamation to change it. And we brought it up to the Civil Rights Act in 1964. It took another 100 years to change that. So look at, I do want to know.
Yeah, it was a lot to digest. Go ahead, brothers. Anybody want to take it away who want to set it off?
I'll set it off because my battery is rapidly dying, so I might have to check out after this. So I'm gonna set it off and check out. But yeah, I mean, you know, like that goes back to what I was just saying. Like, sorry, I just was like I was saying, it doesn't matter. I mean, the color of the sin, like, you know what I mean. So basically, he was just showing that, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying. And you know, I'll let y'all go around it now. So.
Okay.
Go ahead, Don. You got the floor. I'm gonna mute my mic. Go ahead, brother Barnes. Mute your mic one time.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah, the thing that I see here that definitely developed with his white rage theory, him wanting to understand, is the main agenda, his personal agenda, I truly believe is this. It's because the military, so much military men was a part of that White House stampede. This is why this had to came out. He know that these people, I'll just call it what it is. These Aryans are actually a part of our military. We want to understand the rage. Why are they doing these things? Because you got to remember, they're not shooting white faces in Afghanistan, white faces in Iraq, whites in the Palestine. They're not shooting white faces. You understand? And when they do actually doing these things, these crimes over there, you got to remember, they have a brigade, they have laws as well, even our military. They are experiencing white rage across sea. You understand? I want to know what is making these boys go over there and kill a whole house full of people that wasn't the order. You know what I mean? They want to define these things. And you know what I mean? And the question is, why, I would say this, why has not the Klan or any of these groups been labeled as terrorists yet, domestically? You know what I mean? Why have nobody, I mean, no matter how many bombings, no matter how many people are drugged on the back of trucks, no matter how many brothers are hung, you know what I mean? No matter what, you know, they don't want to face the fact that, hey, we do have supremacists and too much power in powerful places that allow these things to take place. You know what I mean? He spoke on a point where I don't understand it because I'm not one of these people. He spoke from that aspect. I'm not one of these people, but I want to understand what is making this actually take place, because these are things that you got to remember behind the lines. There's a lot of things that are being said. There's a lot of things that are going on that we don't know about as a people, as American spirit, that these people are actually experiencing, that we know that actually it is actually happening. So for him to want to actually break it down, and for us to actually understand a little bit in more in depth with this white rage, how far it goes, we got to remember the Iran conflict. We got to remember the Nicaraguan wars. You know what I mean? We have to remember these things because these are the things that it mess with us socially and economically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. These affected our community because these wars actually flooded us with the drugs that actually tore apart our populations, flooded us with the arms that actually had brothers killing each other. This is all white rage. You understand? Today, even today, the truckloads, I mean, the train loads that are actually trained with military grade weapons that are being just all of a sudden just popping up missing. But yet all these brothers, we talking about the shootings in Chicago. These brothers are not running around with 38s and 380s and 32s. You know what I mean? This is all white rage. You know what I mean? Everything that happens in here, when we see brothers that are persecuted unjustly, you know what I mean? White rage. George Floyd, white rage. You know what I mean? So they want to come to an understanding of what it is. No, it goes all the way back to, all right, you want to know white rage? Let me teach you your history, America. You know what I mean? This is what it is. Now we going into the, but we saying in CRT, don't teach them about this. You want to understand your white rage? There you go. Policy and procedure.
That was beautifully put, brother. That was beautifully put. Go ahead, Rosewood. You got the floor. I'm gonna mute my mic.
Now, you know, I just want to point out at the end of the video, Matt Gaetz, the face he made at the end of the video says it all. It says it all. It says the whole agenda right there. Like, come on, you really going to sit up here and say the truth? You really going to say that they really need to know? And if you had the video where Matt Gaetz was asking the questions, and he answered Matt Gaetz back, he gave him a good response too. You know, like we really need to know because I have members in the military, you know, fought in Iraq, you know, Vietnam. When you over there, like when you fight next to the next man, it's about your survival over there. So they don't have time. The military is a well-oiled machine. They don't have time for, say, like white rage. Because if we want to complete a mission, we don't have time for this person to be going off on a black man because he's black or a civilian because they're tan. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need none of that because we don't want the U.S. military around the world looking like bullies because that's what we always been. But like I said, Matt Gaetz' face said it all. This is our agenda. This is the Republican agenda. This is the white supremacist agenda. And this is what we want to keep going. And what you teaching at West Point, that's going to have military trained brothers knowing the knowledge. West Point has some of the best teaching in the world. So you have black brothers that go there. So if you're educating black brothers that are military trained, what are they going to do when they get back home? They're going to teach. So that's why the Republican Party or whoever it is, white supremacists, whatever name you want to put on this structure, this is why they want to erase the history. That's why. Because once you start teaching the certain brothers that have certain positions where they can make moves and come back and teach actual skills to the brothers in the hood, and the brothers, the young brothers that's out here wilding, is going to listen, they don't want that at all. So that just shows the agenda. That's it. That's what I say. That shows the agenda. Matt Gaetz showed it all.
I mean, yo, that's beautiful, bro, and that's exactly right, bro. Because
And we know that priest of war, man. We know wisdom is the greatest gift that we can receive while we're here alive, right? And with that said, ignorance is the key to our downfall. You know what I mean? So the powers that be know what knowledge can do. It's power. And by them trying to get right there and cut our youth off from any knowledge, I don't care what it is. You know what I mean? I don't understand how people is against that. What are you talking like? This is knowledge. Whether you agree with it or not, then you know you can use your discretion. But everything should be learned. At least, at the very least, we should be able to agree upon that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to tap out with this because I can't even see. I'm on 3% and I'm about to die.
All right, my brother. Yeah, we about to close
Thank
out.
y'all for coming in. Thank everybody for the joint and take the conversation further. And more importantly, what I want to say before I leave, the last thing I'm gonna say is teach your kids at home regardless. Who cares what's on the curriculum at school? Whether it's there or not, you better make sure you teaching them everything. And you know what I'm saying, that's right and exact. You know what I mean? Let me sign off with that. It's up to you to teach your kids. If you're looking for them to teach them, they're gonna learn a bunch of nonsense anyway.
All right. Exactly. All right, shalom, my brother.
Blood. Don Nanda, I appreciate it. I love y'all, man.
Peace. Peace. Love you, bro. Peace. I holler at you.
All right, shalom, brother. Yeah, so with that being said, I'm gonna just end it with this, man. I believe white supremacy is white supremacy is a well-oiled machine. So much so that when it's at its optimum level, that a black person will say white supremacy doesn't exist. Now, concerning the general is part of the white supremacist structure. Again, he's part of the military, right? And the military is, as well as the police, is the enforcement on the white supremacy. Let's be clear on this. So he's arguing from a white supremacist standpoint, okay? And the Mr. Gantz, or however you pronounce his name, he's arguing from the other perspective of white supremacists. And this is the thing about white supremacy. If they argue both sides of the argument, no matter who wins, white supremacy wins. So the mere fact that people are calling it critical race theory instead of white supremacy as it really is the problem. All right. And that's where I draw my line at, of saying we have to redefine these terms, not based on what they call them, but based on our own definitions, because we are the people that's being oppressed, not them. We the oppressed. How do you allow the oppressor to define what oppression is? That makes no sense. So as long as we allow them to define what things are to us, then it matters. Nothing else matters, because the information is already faulty. By going with a Karl Marx concept of someone who was, when he came up with this concept, this hijack concept, that that he never equated black people into the whole equation. He was only talking about rich white people, which was bourgeoisies, and poor white people, which was the proletariats. All right. Never did he equate black people into that whole equation, because if he did in 1933, you can go look this up. It's a thing called the Ryland babies. So during the time and the existence of the Frankfurt School in Germany in 1930, which is like a Harvard institution in Germany at this time, these people was well educated. But at this time, the Ryland babies, the German government went around and collected all mixed people, all mixed children, all mixed people. Anybody that was mixed with black and non-black was thrown on these place called look it up, Ryland bastards. Look this up. But this is during the same time when people are following this school of Frankfurt thoughts, this Karl Marx thoughts. And now it evolved into critical race theory. But let's be clear, we are not speaking about critical race theory. We're speaking about white supremacy. So as long as we call it a theory, we already lost. So with that, I'll conclude. And I would say shalom, shalom. My brother Rosewood, thank you for having, thank you. I always appreciate you, my brother, for coming in. You're on mute. Unmute yourself.
My bad. Thank you, my Jay. Always a pleasure. Thank you, man.
Yeah, my going in like that, bro.
Nah, man, that's what you're supposed to do, man. That's what you're supposed to do. We gotta have a structure where we gotta have different opinions. You know, we
Indeed.
gotta have different opinions and different thoughts.
Indeed, my brother. But let's sign off. We just hit that hour and 30-minute mark. So we say shalom. We love everybody. We love all our viewerships and all our supporters. Shalom, man. All praise to the Most High.
Peace. Stay positive.
Shalom.